hear a fun fact? It's like a fun fact.
Another fun fact.
Here's a fun fact.
Or not so
Fun fact.
or
Here's another.
not so fun fact.
Not so much fun anymore, is it?
All right, so we're going to jump right into it. So, yesterday, of course, was the birthday of our beloved Martin Luther King, the civil rights leader. And so he was born January 15th, 1929, but he was not Martin. He was Michael. His name was, yes. So his his father's name was Michael as well, but during his father's travels, he went over to Germany and was inspired so much by Martin Luther, which was the Protestant Reformation leader. He was so inspired by him that he came back and he changed his name to Martin Luther, as well as his, at the time, 5-year-old son, Martin Luther King Jr., as we know him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then also Martin Luther King entered college at the age of 15. So he skipped ninth grade. So basically, it sounds like he only did sophomore, junior year. So he was accepted into Morehouse, okay, and he skipped the ninth grade and the 12th grade, and just went straight on into college at 15.
Mm.
Okay. Another thing, Martin Luther King received his doctorate in systematic theology. Okay. So it was just a comparison of such, and a more hardcore look onto theology as we know it today. Let's see. His I Have a Dream speech was not his first speech at the Lincoln Memorial. So before the March on Washington, he did a prayer pilgrimage for freedom, and that's kind of what steered him over into the civil rights and put him in that leadership role. He was also in prison almost 30 times through the duration of his life. And a decade before he was assassinated in 1968, in 1958, September 20th to be exact, he was doing a book signing, and a woman by the name of Isola Ware Curry came up to him and asked him, "Okay, are you Martin Luther King Jr.?" He said yes. She pulled out a letter opener, a sharp letter opener, and stabbed him near the heart.
Damn.
Yes. So they told him if he had a sneezed wrong, if that would have did anything to his aorta, he'd have died.
Mm.
Um. So let's see. And then King's last public speech foretold his death. Also, his going into his stance on civil rights and so on. Clearly, we know that during the latter parts of his life, his stance changed, and thus the conspiracy of his death came about, in that the killer, his murderer, was not the only person who was involved in this case. So after his assassination, his wife reopened that case based on that conspiracy, and also his mother also passed away after being slain. Well, she didn't pass away, she was murdered.
I was about to say.
She was murdered while in the same church that him and his father preached at, which was in Atlanta, Georgia. So, and this was a black man that did it, and apparently had a problem with Christians. So,
Or he was sent by the FBI and CIA, and that was the cover up that they used.
yeah, yep, yep. So it's a lot of conspiracy wrapped around both him and his mother's death.
Well, in
So
1999, the United States government was found guilty of the conspiracy to kill Martin Luther King. Don't want to leave that out.
yes, yep, yep,
And nobody was
that
held
is
accountable
real.
for that. Nobody at all. Like nothing that ever happens to us is ever held accountable. All the institutions just do. They say I'm sorry, and then they continue to do the same thing to anybody else that
Over and over again.
rears their head. Right. So when you get into the Martin Luther King, the irony behind this man's legacy is that he started off as a kid basically, and he risked and sacrificed his life for the people in pursuit of our liberation and our freedom against these corporations and institutions that have to keep us oppressed so that they maintain their power. Now, the irony behind that is today, the same people that he risked his life for and sacrificed his life for, they cannot wait to spend their money or give their energy to the same institutions and corporations. It's really bad. The social engineering of the mind is very baffling. Um, Talking to people that were so gung ho about voting and getting Trump out of here, those same people will turn the other way when and go shop frivolously with corporations that have knowingly called you or done things to you because of the color of your skin. And then the rebuttal from those same people
And our leaders.
and our
So
leaders is, well, everybody's racist and it's going to take time. I'm telling you, people, we are living in the matrix because the more and more conversations I have, I am befuddled. I'm like, so don't nobody want to be free? Nobody? And
oh,
it brings me back to the phrase that Harriet Tubman said. She said she freed 300, but she could have freed thousands had they realized they were slaves. Go ahead, Kiana.
and I was getting ready to say as well that at he was the youngest to receive the Nobel Peace Prize at 35.